Two. Let's continue. I gotta pull it back just slightly because I had to get in front of a commercial.
Computer tower.
What about this $30,000? Is that there?
No, the tower was missing too.
Oh, okay.
The tower,
Isn't that pretty significant?
yeah, like my dad, I asked him about it, he goes, I don't know what you're talking about.
And the fact that a revolver is missing from his gun collection.
So he has 3 guns, that's it?
Yeah, but I know he has a handheld revolver that was missing too.
Oh, that's missing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, I just figure, okay, well, you know, he takes it with him because he always keeps it in his pocket.
Okay.
On some level, Cheyenne knows that it's suspicious these items are missing, so she won't readily offer this information. At the same time, she seems unsure what she can get away with concealing, and Newbold is learning it doesn't take much pushing for Cheyenne to reveal something she's hidden by omission.
You found a what? A raccoon?
Yeah.
A dead one?
Yeah.
Underneath the house?
Yeah.
How'd you find that under the house? Why'd you look under there?
Because I was trying to figure out where that smell was coming from.
Okay.
I looked around right there, I cleaned up dog shit.
But it wasn't dog shit. That's not that bad.
Yeah.
So the rats were dead in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And there was a dead raccoon under the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Newbold makes another underhanded challenge to Cheyenne, expressing doubt that the intense scent of decay can be explained by feces, though he won't yet question the conveniently decomposing raccoon. This is obviously a more plausible source of the smell, so first he must acutely interrogate and find fault in the logistics of Cheyenne's story. But moving this carcass isn't the only cleaning that begs questioning.
What was the house?
Here's the I mean, obviously they wouldn't be covering this if I'm imagining she got convicted. But keep in mind, she has still not been read her Miranda rights. And that's pretty surprising that they didn't just have her sign a form at the beginning. But I guess I think what happened here is that she called them in as missing, and so they're doing just a witness interview to get details on why they might be missing, and it's not necessarily suspected at this point, but he's starting to reach this conclusion, and so I'm wondering at what point is he going to read her Miranda rights.
Pretty clean though. Did you do any cleaning?
No, sir. I sprayed the floor with roach killer spray.
As with her father's missing items, Cheyenne seems sure that she did no other cleaning until Newbold presses her. Yet even this account of the war she's waged on insects and rotting meat doesn't quite capture the gut-churning scene that police encountered at the trailer. Exhausted cans of air freshener littered the residence, impotent against the overwhelming smell of decaying flesh. Flies swarmed over piles of rodent feces, and dark stains marred the furniture and timber flooring. Cheyenne will try to dismiss each facet of this foul sight, every excuse as nonsensical as her raccoon spiel.
Did you notice anything else in the house that didn't look right?
I looked around and I could see where my dad looked like he laid blankets out on the couch to like lay on and stuff. I mean, I sat on the couches and then I just still smelled a funny smell, and I just
You
wondered.
sat on the couch when? Since your dad left?
Yeah,
Okay, was the sheets there?
yeah.
The sheets draped over her father's couches reveal how crude Cheyenne's facade of innocence truly is. She claims that the blanket has been laid out so her father and daughter could be more comfortable watching TV, somehow believing that this will convince the detectives she can't know anything about the stains hidden underneath. Newbold's need and indeed tolerance for her flimsy commentary is dissipating.
I looked at and everything's the same. Nothing's really changed.
Well, besides the fact that his gun's missing,
Yeah,
and
his clothes
his clothes and his money and his tower.
The time for Cheyenne to recover between each confrontation is shrinking from 20 minutes to 8, then 5, then mere seconds. As her comfort diminishes, her anxiety and exhaustion grow.
What prompted you to finally call the police? I mean,
Well, I've checked everything out, see if he really did go up there, found everybody that I've talked to, and I was like, well, I still ain't talked to him, and I'm really freaking concerned. So I went and I looked, and your office was.
I have a question. if you have a relative who lives in a rodent-infested house, why would you give him access to your daughter for the whole summer? Like, why would you be like, okay, I'm gonna let my daughter live with you for the summer in your rodent-infested house? They found rodent feces. I mean, like, okay, so they confirmed that. They found rodent feces, like, fucking everywhere. Is this a normal occurrence, or were they attracted by the dead bodies?
The state troopers was closed.
After almost 3 weeks, what prompted her to finally report her father and daughter's disappearance? Lacking a convincing motivation, she rambles about all the obstacles she suffered through before she could contact authorities.
So I waited till the morning to try to call you guys because I didn't know what the numbers were. And my friend that's friends with Matthew and Cody, his name's Kurt, and he and his wife gave us a number to call you guys.
What number? 911?
No, not 911, the actual police place.
The sheriff's office?
Yes, sir.
Much like her investigation with her father's bank, Cheyenne tries to distract the detectives with vaguely connected anecdotes, hoping they won't notice she never answered their question. But as this interview has made clear, Newbold and Clark notice far more than Cheyenne realizes.
It takes me a while to learn something, but once I learn it, I'm pretty good at it, and I've been a cashier before up in Georgia.
Okay.
So,
What does that have to do with anything?
At Lowe's?
no, up in Georgia, I've worked at Pizza Hut was my first job. My cousin Tara got me.
Were you a server?
No, I was the person who did the prepping and washing the dishes.
Okay.
With everyone who washed dishes.
Right. But now you work with money and you're pretty good. Have you ever been accused of stealing money or getting caught wrong or anything?
No, sir.
Cheyenne is apparently gratified by the opportunity to truthfully deny committing a crime.
Traditional law firm hiring takes too much time, especially when your law firm needs help now. Visit lawclip.legal and connect with.
I double count. I double counted the end. I counted once, I counted twice, and I counted to the customer.
Okay.
Because that's what I saw at Dollar General when I worked there.
As a cashier?
Yes.
Okay.
I worked at McDonald's as a cashier too when I was pregnant with my daughter.
But do you know how...
Wow, stupid is as stupid does. One of my friends used to say that all the time. I'm sorry, folks, but like, first of all, obviously don't commit murder. Don't do this kind of bullshit. But second of all, if you're this goddamn dumb, if you're this fucking dumb, so good.
Cellular, the cell phones work, you know these work? They don't have a plug like a house phone, do they? They don't have like a cord and stuff, right?
No, they're wireless.
Right. Do you know how the wireless works though?
Yeah, it bounces off the satellite, right?
Sort of. Have you
Or
ever
cell
seen
towers.
cell towers? Have you ever seen those cell towers?
They did try
Tall, like things coming off of them?
Yeah.
That's what your cell phone uses.
Oh no, they did triangulate it.
Okay?
Yeah.
And if you live in an area where you don't get that much signal
Yeah.
on your phone, unless like sometimes it doesn't work, why do you think that is?
Because you're in a bad area, and
Well, what do you mean by that area?
like maybe there's like it's not picking up the frequencies or something like that.
Do you think maybe because there's not a tower nearby?
Probably.
Okay.
As he moves toward the topic of how cell phones work, Newbold is building toward direct confrontation. But this would be ineffective if Cheyenne doesn't have the basic knowledge to understand it. His use of phrases like, "Why do you think that?" evoke that of a Socratic teacher. And lacking any idea of where Newbold is going with this, Cheyenne sees nothing to be wary of. This comfort couple,
Yeah, but they still haven't read her Miranda rights. This is the problem.
with an ego boost from her sincere denial of theft, positions her to remain engaged, answering questions with little hesitation.
If you were in the middle of the desert and there were no cell phone towers, do you think your cell phone's going to work?
No.
Okay. So the only way your cell phone works is by cell towers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you drive from your house, let's say there's a cell tower in your front yard. I'm not saying there is, Let's say it's a cell tower in your front yard. Do you think your phone is going to be using that cell tower at your house?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think if you drive to Plant City and go to Lowe's, do you think your cell phone is going to be using that same tower?
No.
Because what?
There might be another one, probably, or...
Closer?
Yeah.
Okay. So...
My dad explained it to me.
He did it?
Yeah.
Why did he do that?
He wanted me to learn.
Newbold doesn't take anything from off camera, so the reason for him suddenly standing isn't obvious. Regardless, the message to Cheyenne is clear. The atmosphere is changing, and he's far from enthralled by her testimony.
The stuff might be deleted off the phone, but it's still on your computer somewhere. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I text him a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I found that weird that all of his text messages were kind of blank, and I have been, like, Josh said that he's been seeing this guy rides down the road with a bicycle, too.
What's it? Where? What do you mean?
Like, every day, there's a guy that rides down the road in a
What road?
drain field.
What does that mean?
I don't know, I was just thinking that...
Well, that guy that you just said has nothing to do with this case.
Yeah.
Right? Zero. That guy doesn't exist.
Though they haven't held the phone records against her as evidence yet, Cheyenne decides she needs to preemptively explain any inconsistencies between the texts and her narrative. She weakly blames malfunctioning technology and a half-formed excuse about a cyclist, but Newbold cuts her off before it can come close to making sense. With his tone evolving from doubtful to dismissive, he pulls no punches in retorting that the cyclist doesn't even exist.
So...
Yeah, but now's the point at which he needs to... I mean, I think he's got enough evidence at this point that he can go in for the kill. And so, at this point, he really does need to read her Miranda rights.
I was just thinking a different
I know, but here's the deal is that... So we're going to be able to see all... Even if it's left deleted off the phone, we're going to be able to see the text messages and everybody called and stuff and whatever. It stays in the computer. Okay, and this goes back for years. Okay, so we'll be able to get some from last week and the week before that and all that stuff. We're also, I'm concerned about a lot of stuff here, Cheyenne. Okay, and I'm not saying you're a bad person at all. I know you have a very.
He honed in by saying her name directly. People are very reactive to hearing their own name.
Tough life, okay? Having to deal with your daughter and those situations. And do you love your daughter?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I love her with all my heart.
All right. But I know you're having a tough time with that, and it's affecting your relationship because you said that even with your daughter not there, it's made it better for you and Cody to work on your problems and get better as a unit. So
we can handle her.
Right.
Newbold makes a point to recognize Cheyenne isn't a bad person, essentially affirming the image of a suffering but loving mother that she's constructed.
Right.
Newbold communicates a perception of Cheyenne that reflects how she views herself, fostering a sense of validation that mitigates the risk that she'll clam up when her actions are brought into question. To this end, he addresses her by name for the first time since the beginning of the interview. This kind of direct address will become more frequent to maintain Cheyenne's attention and investment in the conversation.
Meet Litter Robot, the revolutionary self-cleaning litter box that eliminates the chore of scooping.
Let's do
Shazam! Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Shazam.
I don't think that, to be honest with you, I don't think that you found a dead raccoon over the house. Number one, because you already said that you found rats in the house, which I do not believe. Okay? So if you got the rats out, what would make you look, and you said that was what was thinking.
Yeah.
And you said that the meat had maggots on it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that the garbage can does not smell anything like rotten meat was in there. That stuff smells horrible. Horrible.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, I cook a lot of stuff in my house. Okay, a lot of meat. That's all, and I eat a lot of food, as you can tell, right? I throw meat and bones in my, you're not supposed to, because if it's not in a bag, they don't like it. But I can still do it. Okay, I don't follow all the rules and stuff, but I I'll throw meat in my garbage can and it rots and all this. It gets real disgusting, as you know. But that smell does not go away. It doesn't just disappear unless you clean.
He's absolutely right. Like, one of my neighbors has been dumping dog feces in both of my bins, my recycle bin and my regular garbage bin, and they smell like dog feces. And I have never owned a dog, not since the 90s when I lived with my mom, right? Like, and that wasn't my dog; those were her dogs, right? I have never personally owned a dog, but my bins smell like dog feces because my stupid ass MAGA neighbors have been dropping dog feces into my bins on trash day. So yeah, there are certain smells that will not go away, and he's absolutely right. And so if rats and a raccoon and all these other things were thrown in the bin, they would have been able to smell it immediately. He's absolutely right. But he still hasn't read her Miranda rights. And he should be getting the form out right now and saying, okay, you have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. Anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law. Do you understand your rights? Do you understand these statements? And sign the paper. Like, seriously, fucking get it out of the way so that you could admit everything that she's fucking told you in a court of law.
It out with bleach and put special perfumes in there and all that stuff. But we had guys out there smell it in that garbage can. It didn't smell anything like rotten meat. That would lead me to believe that there was no rotten meat there.
I threw it out in there.
Okay.
I swear.
That would lead me to believe there's no rotten meat in there.
When Cheyenne insists she threw out rotting meat, Newbold barely acknowledges her before repeating his challenge verbatim. From here on, he'll no longer take her at face value, and feebly reciting her lies will earn her nothing but interruption and criticism. Newbold will accost even small lies, as debunking the existence of rotting meat or a dead raccoon forces Cheyenne to confront why she's lied in the first place.
Did they find the bodies? Are they like in shallow graves under the house? Is that's what's happening here? And if so, did she have an accomplice? Because dead bodies are fucking heavy, from what I've heard. Like, even just like, I mean, I was in dance for years, and when people do dead weight, they're not helping you in like a lift. Bodies are fucking heavy. You know, if they're not using their own muscles to help you out, bodies are fucking heavy. And so I imagine dead bodies have got to be really fucking heavy. And she doesn't look like a big woman, right? So did this Cody Matthew dude help her out?
Happen to die there right when your dad left? Do you think your dad's going to be in the house with dead rats with your daughter? Doesn't your dad love your daughter? He made it perfectly clear, according to you, that he wanted to spend his last year of his life with his granddaughter. Yeah. Why would he have her walking around with dead rats in the house? That's because that's not what happened. That's not what happened. I know why you got the bug killer and the cleaners, and I know that the house was cleaned up, and I know that your dad did not put those sheets on the couch. I know that. That's impossible. That's impossible. Because what's on that couch, if what's on that couch would have went through those sheets. So the sheets weren't just been, you know what I'm saying? What's on that couch, if your dad had sheets on there, if your dad had sheets on the couch and something happened, that's going to be on the sheets. Okay? I'm telling you right now, I just need you to be honest with me. I don't think you found a dead raccoon. Okay? I really don't think that. I think you were probably near under the house, but I think that you know where your dad and your daughter is. And if you say that you don't now, but later on we show that you do know, that doesn't show any love whatsoever in my book, regardless of what happened. If you have no remorse whatsoever for anything to do with her disappearance, that makes you look bad. That makes you, people will be like, she don't care about them. She doesn't love them. But people make mistakes all the time. And if you show remorse for that, then, you know, we can understand that. Okay? But I just need to know from you, because it's going to look bad if something happened. That's what I'm saying. And you know we're talking to Cody and Cody's dad.
Yeah.
And I don't know what Cody's saying right now. I'm going to find out. But if he's telling a different story and your stories don't match, then I know you're lying. Okay? I just want you to be honest, and now's the time. Now's because I don't want Cody telling on you for something and you taking some blame for something. But I'm going to tell you right now, husbands and wives, best friends, they do it all the time. They're not going to get in trouble. They're going to place blame on somebody else. And I think what he's going to say, he's going to tell us what happened, and he's going to blame it on you. He's going to say it was your idea because it's your kid. What happened?
As experts in online education, Purdue University Global gives you all the flexibility you need to balance.
Newbold makes the dichotomy between denial and confessing even clearer. Cheyenne is a good mother if she tells the truth, a bad person if she doesn't. The detective must be careful with his phrasing when he presents the more appealing option of showing remorse. Cheyenne has still not been detained, so he can't threaten or entice her as one might when negotiating a plea deal. Should the prospect of Cheyenne's community condemning her not intimidate her enough, Newbold reminds her that Cody is also being interviewed at this very moment. The risk of her partner, the person she's shown the most affection for, losing respect for her, should surely sway Cheyenne to do the right thing.
He's not going to have text messages.
Well, like I said, I mean, like, first of all, she hasn't been read her Miranda rights. She looks like she's too small to have moved the bodies by, well, maybe she could have handled the 6-year-old, but she definitely couldn't have handled her father's body. But it sounds like they're probably under the house if it smells that bad, in shallow graves. And probably the gun is buried with him, right? And they've probably already dug up the bodies at this point. They probably already went in there and did an excavation. I mean, but it sounds like this Cody dude is probably involved too, because she would have needed some manpower to get the bodies down there.
On his phone that your dad is leaving the state with your beloved daughter, okay, because he has a year to live. He's not going to tell you that because he forgets stuff. You don't forget stuff. That's huge. That's huge. A man, your dad, okay, whether it be your dad or not, your dad is taking your daughter out of the state because he's dying, according to him. And he's going to change phones and all this stuff, allegedly, and all this stuff. I don't even think your dad sent those text messages, if they even exist. Did Cody delete them?
No.
You're still on his phone.
They're still on Cody's phone.
Here's what I'm going to see when I look at the phones. I can promise you this, okay? I can promise you, if they're on Cody's phone, or whatever text messages that or phone calls you made from your phone, if you really did, to your dad, this is what we're going to see on the records. We're not going to see anything at all, because they just didn't happen. Or we're going to see your dad's phone in the same place your phone is, in the same place Cody's phone is. That means that those phones are near each other and together. And the only way that would be happening is if your dad was sitting next to you, texting you or calling you, and people all do that, they turn and talk to them, right?
Despite honing in on the specifics and faults in Cheyenne's story, the way Newbold speculates is intentionally vague. Without the phone records on hand, he can't be sure whether they'll find no texts at all from her father, or texts from a...
Well, yeah, because she just reported it on August 1st, and the timestamp on the video says August 2nd, 2015. So they've only had 1 day to investigate the murders at this point.
...suspicious location. So he proposes both scenarios, knowing that his suspect must connect with one of them. The value of his earlier groundwork manifests here as well. Otherwise, Cheyenne wouldn't understand the gravity of this kind of evidence.
No, me and my dad, we sat in the same room, we'll see each other's text messages.
Okay, but these text messages are talking about going to Georgia and stuff. Was not sent from the same room.
That's why I was
So, no, I'm wondering, what we're wondering is what happened, because we're going to be able to put all that together, okay? I'd rather not waste my time and find the daughter that you love, that it seems like I care more about right now, and I want to find your father, that seems like I care about more right now. I want to find them.
I want to find them too.
Okay, but I need you to tell me the truth. You know what happened to them. And I need you to be honest with me. What happened?
Newbold's evidentiary attacks go hand in hand with emotional strikes. Cheyenne has not yet taken the bait of proving she's a good mother, so he takes it one step further by suggesting he cares more for her father and daughter than she does. Cheyenne is quick to insist she's just as worried, but Newbold cuts off her superficial assurance. He'll allow her to speak freely if she shows this concern by telling the truth. But until she complies, he'll punish her with abrasive interruption.
Where are they? Let's just start with that. Just tell me where they're at, because we're going to find them.
I don't know.
Just tell me where they're at, Cheyenne.
I don't know. Honest to God, I don't know.
Well, God's not here, okay, right? Is God here?
No.
So don't promise to God.
God's
I
not.
understand that, but he's not going to be able to tell me that you're telling the truth. I just want to know where they're at.
I don't know where they are. I don't.
Are they at the house? Is that what stinks?
I don't see them at the house. I looked through
Here's the deal.
everywhere.
Something happened at the house. I know that. Okay? There's blood at the house. There's blood at the house. Okay? And I know, you know what happened. I'm trying to find out from you. Did you go in there and find some bad stuff and you were scared and you guys covered it up and did something with them? Just tell me that. Nothing bad happened there and they got up and walked out of there on their own. So,
I don't
did you go
remember.
there?
I don't remember.
You don't remember something bad happened there?
All I know is that everything looks normal.
But it's not normal. Okay? The sheets that you guys put on those couches in the love seat is covering up stuff. It's covering up stuff that we saw, that you know how it got there. Okay? So, if you go in and find some bad stuff in the house, I can understand if you're scared and you want to hide stuff. I understand.
How stupid can you be that you're like, okay, I've murdered somebody in this room. The couches are now covered in blood, so I'm just going to cover it up with sheets. Like, if you were going to commit a murder, wouldn't you, like, actually, like, take those couches to, like, a dump site or something? Like at least try and do a little bit better cleanup work on this shit. This is only in Florida, you guys.
If the alternative question wasn't such an effective tactic, it wouldn't feature in so many interrogations. Newbold submits that maybe Cheyenne simply stumbled upon a gruesome scene, covering what she found out of fear, but notably is not the culprit. Lowering the bar of admission earns him a small concession. Cheyenne says she doesn't remember what happened to her father and daughter, rather than not knowing. It's certainly no confession, but it's a step in the right direction that accommodates a scenario where Cheyenne was involved, even if she doesn't remember.
My main concern right now is finding your dad and your daughter. And I don't want to mess with this all.
First of all, there's no way she doesn't remember. These are supposed to be two of her closest relatives. Her daughter and her father. There's no way she doesn't remember.
I just want to find them. Regardless of what happened, I want to find them. Okay? So, it makes you look like a horrible mother and person if you know where they're at, and we can prove that, and you said you don't know. That doesn't make you look like a good mother, a good loving mother that you do anything for your daughter, does it? If it is, then act like it. Don't protect anybody. This is your daughter. She's 6 years old, Cheyenne. She's 6 years old. She might have had some problems. Cheyenne, look at me. Look at me. Where are they at? Move your hand. Sit up. Sit up straight. Because I don't see one tear coming out of you. Okay? I don't see one tear.
Cheyenne tries to disengage, burying her face in her hands to create some visual and mental space from this confrontation. But Newbold won't allow her to withdraw, instructing her to look at him, her obedience a promising sign of her willingness to yield to the detective's authority.
You don't know where they are. No.
Yes, you do.
Cheyenne, we already know enough. We have enough information to know there's parts of your story that aren't true. You gotta answer our questions. This stuff we have to know. All right? For your daughter. For your daughter, we need to find her.
I don't.
You do know. We have enough people in the neighborhood that know that you know. We didn't just talk to you. We talked to other folks in that neighborhood.
That's good, Doug.
You need to tell us what you know. You need to tell us where your daughter's at. There's no way your dad left there to leave for the rest of his life and left his wallet there and left his money in his wallet and left his car there. That just didn't happen. This stuff doesn't make sense, Shane.
You would leave your daughter's medication there? Really?
Detective Clark's rare interruption verifies that the police have sound evidence. His wholly neutral tone, in contrast with Newbold's high-pitched urgency, connotes that his input may be less biased or manipulative, blocking Cheyenne from writing off their suspicion as just a product of Newbold's emotionality. Newbold's abrupt note-taking doubtlessly heightened Cheyenne's anxiety, forcing her to wonder if she said something especially incriminating. His incredulity and severity renders Clark calm and approachable by comparison, reinforcing a subtle good cop, bad cop dynamic.
Now, being real, I don't know that she is, like, she's so stupid to begin with that I don't know if she's, like, noticing their behaviors that closely, that she's recognizing that he's taking a lot of notes. Like, she may be so stupid that she thinks that they've been buying her story and that the note-taking is not that big of a deal to her. But that's crazy that, like, she left the medicine there, she left the wallet there, she has this crazy-ass story that he left state with her daughter and essentially, like, kidnapped her daughter, right? But it smells like dead bodies in the house. I can't even.
I don't remember. All I remember is that they texting and they told me to do.
I believe that text may exist, but I don't think it came from your dad. So there's no reason why Cody would be taking your dad landlord's phone. I mean, look at it. Sit up, Cheyenne. Sit up. Okay. You guys, your dad's missing, and your 6-year-old daughter's missing. Okay. And you guys are cleaning up the house, bombing the house, moving cars around, taking this truck, taking your dog. Like, they don't even exist. You know what that tells me? That tells me that I've done this job a long time. This is not my first case, okay? That tells me that you know where they're at. And you know they're not coming back.
They said he wasn't coming back, so...
I know, but that's what the text message said. That's what the text message said, that either you or Cody sent to Cody's phone. Your dad didn't send that text message. Remember the phone records I was telling you about? We have the phone records. Okay? So I know all that stuff you said is not true. It's impossible. So, where are they at? Cheyenne?
I really don't know.
Yes, you do. Well, what happened to him?
I don't know.
Do you agree with me that a lot of stuff you said is not true? Do you agree with me?
I'm just going off of what I remember.
Okay.
I'm not remembering.
Shannon, I want you to sit up.
My mind is...
Let's do this. I want you to sit up and look at me. Please? Can you do that for me?
Cheyenne has become too combative to respect Newbold's commands to sit up. In retaliation, he not only moves his chair to cut off her access to the door, but closes the space between them. He penalizes her disobedience by intruding on her personal space, making it difficult for Cheyenne to ignore him and find solace behind her hands. At the risk of shutting her down completely with uncurbed aggression, his words take on a gentler quality when he asks her to sit up for him. This small variation from order to request makes Cheyenne feel as though she's doing Newbold a favor, further associating compliance with relief and defiance with discomfort.
Wow.
Any lies from this point out won't be tolerated by the detectives. Newbold wants to convince her they've already heard and rejected these falsehoods, and that they possess enough evidence to know when she's lying. The goal is to make telling the truth the only way Cheyenne can meaningfully contribute.
Nice.
We know what's happening on the roads.
Nice.
The most common EV deaths.
On a scale of 1 to 10, you guys have a 10 relationship. But on your daughter's scale, you have like a 5.
Yeah, I've been trying to work on it, but she doesn't seem like she wants to work on it.
Clearly.
She's 6.
But
So, where is she at?
she's with my dad.
Where? I believe she's probably with your dad, possibly. But where are they at?
I don't know.
Cheyenne.
All I know is that the text message said that he was.
Forget the text messages, okay? Because I'm telling you, it did not come from your dad. It did not come from some guy riding down the road. It did not using your dad's phone.
Not lying.
You can say whatever you want, but if you're telling me that you're saying the truth, then I could just tell you that you're not, because we can prove otherwise. So if you're not telling the truth, that means you're trying to hide something. And if you're trying to hide something, I would say that makes you look like a bad mother. I just want to know where they're at. Let's just start there. I don't care what happened to them disappearing. I want to know, let's start where are they at. Let's just start there.
I don't know where they are. I don't.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave this room for a second with Detective Clark with you, and I'm going to go find out if Cody's story matches your story, okay? Then I'm going to find out if he's told the truth. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What if he gives me a whole different story? Like he tells us where they're at.
Newbold proposes that Cheyenne just start by sharing where to find her father and daughter. His use of the word just trivializes the request, so his suspect might perceive this as safe and uncomplicated information to provide. Yet reality is quite the opposite. Of course, it could take many more hours for Cheyenne to warm up to the full truth, so Newbold hastens her along with the warning that he'll soon leave to speak with Cody. This reminder that Cody may disclose problematic information feeds Cheyenne's anxiety, as well as imposing a time limit for her confession.
You don't remember.
Honestly, these people are so fucking stupid. Every time they do these crimes, they never ask for an attorney. It's so stupid. But, I mean, I'm glad that they don't, because they're such fools that they end up getting caught. It's good. That's good. We catch the killers, but oh my god, she killed her 6-year-old daughter. It sounds like she was a horribly abusive mother. That sounds fucking terrible. I mean, like, I remember doing, like, not Raging Waters, it was called, maybe it was, I don't remember, the one that was in Irvine. I did birthday parties for my son there, and